Hello students, this is A. Srinivas, lecturer in physics, Vignan Junior College, Vadnamudi. Students, we are discussing sound chapter. In sound, we completed 5 videos. We comes to end of the sound chapter. Today, we talk about Doppler effect. This is the last topic of this chapter. With this, we come to end of this sound chapter. Here, students, especially in this video, we particularly confine to Doppler effect, and this is the source. In this animation, you are observing a source which is producing sound waves. The source is producing sound waves and they are propagating in all directions. A stationary source. In spite of this stationary source is moving. Here this red spot is the source. The source is moving and producing sound. Then frequencies of sound received by the observer is different from the actual frequency of the source. So the frequency of the sound received by the observer changes when source is moving. Here this is the case in which we are observing the motion of the source. So that apparent frequency, how the frequency is modified when either source or observer is in motion will be discussed in the Doppler effect. So today's topic is Doppler effect. It clearly explains the frequency, apparent change in frequency when either source or observer is in motion. Either observer or source are in motion, then apparent frequency received by the observer is different from actual frequency of the emitted source. This phenomena will be discussed in the Doppler effect. Here, if the source is stationary, the frequency is uniformly distributed. We get the same frequency in all directions. If the source is in motion, the person in front of the source receive sound waves of more frequency. The person behind the moving source is getting sound waves of less frequency or more wavelength. Wavelength is more, frequency is less for behind person. In front of person, source is approaching this person, he get sound wave of more frequency and less wavelength. This expression and definition and applications and various forms of Doppler effect will be discussed throughout this video. Let us move on to the contents of this chapter. So, in this Doppler effect phenomena, in today's video, we will discuss about the definition of Doppler effect, followed by the apparent frequency in case of a source is in motion and observer is at rest. We are discussing two different cases. In first case, we discuss the case in which the apparent frequency in case of source is in motion, observer is at rest. In next case, we discuss in which observer is in motion and source is at rest. And by combining these two main equations, we discuss different conditions of Doppler effect when both source and observer are in motion. They are approaching or they are moving away, or one is following the other. Relatively, by observing the different ways of motions between source and observer, we write the various forms of equations of Doppler effect and applications of Doppler effect, and some numericals belongs to this one. So total discussion about the very important topic. Doppler effect is the very important question for board exams, as well as in this chapter 50% of numerical question. In wave chapter, 50% of numerical questions were given in previous competitive exams belongs to Doppler effect. So let us move on to the first content, that is definition of Doppler effect. Before going to the definition, this Doppler effect is applicable for sound waves as well as for light waves. For all, we know that sound wave is a mechanical wave, light wave is electromagnetic non-mechanical waves. For all types of waves, we apply Doppler effect. Here visually in this animation, you are observing the Doppler effect of light. This is the source actually emitting red light. While it is approaching the person, this appears to be blue in color. Observe, actually it is red in light. While this is approaching, source is approaching, man receives a blue color light. Frequency increases and wavelength decreases. So here also when actually and second side, let the source be giving blue color, when it is moving away, the wavelength increases and it becomes red color. So the frequency of even light is also get modified. We are getting apparent frequency of the light when source is in motion. Similarly, we are getting some different frequency, apparent frequency of sound when source of sound is in motion. So these apparent frequencies will be discussed, will be calculated in this video. Let us move on to the definition of Doppler effect. Here, this is the definition. The apparent change in frequency of sound when the source, the observer and the medium are in relative motion is called Doppler effect. Here, actually this is the position of the source. Students, actually we kept the source at this position. Here I write S. Let us observe the letter S. Actually we kept the source at S, as well as the observer is at O. O is the position of observer. Let this be the person who is observing or who is receiving the sound waves. If the source is in motion, or either observers may be in motion, not only source, either source in motion or observer in motion, and this is the medium through which sound wave is propagating. Between source and observer we have an air medium. Sometimes this air medium may be in motion due to either source velocity or observer velocity or medium velocity. There are three velocities possible. Either source emitting sound may be in motion, or receiving observer may be in motion, or the medium through which sound wave is propagating may be in motion. Due to any motion, we receive a sound wave of different frequency, not the actual frequency. If actually nu is the frequency of the sound emitted, we receive the frequency nu dash, which is different from nu, due to either source motion or observer motion or medium motion or all of the things in motion. Either source or observer or medium, anyone is in motion, all are in motion. The frequency of the sound received is different from the actual frequency. There is apparent change in frequency, actually nu, but we are getting a frequency of different sound. This apparent, really it is not changing, but at that time we receive a sound of different frequency. This apparent change in frequency of sound, either due to source or due to observer or due to medium or all are above. In relative motion, due to relative motion between source and observer, we get a apparent change in frequency. Apparent change in frequency of the sound when source, observer and the medium are in relative motion is called Doppler effect. Here this effect may be either apparent change means we may get either increase in frequency when source is approaching or decrease in frequency when source is moving away. So either increase or decrease in frequency, so that wavelength is also changes. Wavelength get modified and as well as the frequency get modified. This phenomenon is known as the Doppler effect. Okay, let us move on to the first case to find the apparent frequency. We find the expression for this apparent frequency for various cases. Here this apparent change in frequency not only observed in longitudinal sound, that is mechanical waves, but also observed in light waves, which are non-mechanical electromagnetic waves. Even in that case also we observe the apparent change in frequency of light as well as wavelength changes, so that we receive a different color than the actual color emitted from the source. Let us move on to the first case of this one. That is, we would like to find out the apparent frequency of the source of the sound when source is moving away from stationary observer. So ultimately observer is considered to be at rest. Observer is in rest position. Okay. We kept the observer who is receiving the sound at rest, and the source which is emitting the sound is moving away from stationary observer. So let us do this expression. We would like to find out what is the expression for apparent frequency for this source is in motion and observer he is in the rest position. We do this derivation with a beautiful animation. Let us consider the source is moving away from stationary observer. Let us consider the position of the observer. Here let this be the observer in the rest position. Let O be the position of the observer. This is the position at which observer is standing, and he remains in the rest position. He is absolutely in the rest, no more motion for it. Let us consider a source. Here in this animation you observe this source at S1 position. Initially let the source be at S1 position. Actually it is traveling with velocity Vs. Vs is the velocity of the source. Vs is the velocity of the source which is moving away. We consider, see the arrow mark in white color shows the direction of motion of the source. At particular instant, let it be 0 seconds. At 0 seconds of time, instantaneously the source be at S1. The distance between observer and the source is L. The distance between observer and the source is L at an instant of 0 seconds. This is the position of observer. This source is emits wavelength. Actually, the sound emitted by the source reaches the observer here. Like this. This is the sound wave emitted by the source reaches the observer, first of all. And then as source is in motion, let observer. Now in this animation we will observe the motion of the source away from the observer, that is towards right side direction. From S1 position it starts moving away with velocity Vs. Let us see the animation like this. Towards right side source is moving. Let the source be instantaneously at this position S2. Let S2 be the another position of the source. After time T0, we give the time exactly equal to time period of the wave. To do the derivation easily, let T0 be the time interval for time period of the wave. In this time period of the wave time, source moves away from the observer and reaches position S2. Therefore, displacement of the source from S1 is velocity into time, uniform velocity. Velocity into time means Vs into T0. Displacement of S1, S2. S2 separated from S1 by the displacement formula V into T, velocity of the source into T0. T0 is the time period of the wave, which is also equal to time given for the source to travel. We observe the source for a period of journey of T0 seconds. Then displacement of the source from S1, Vs into T0 and reaches S2. Now one more sound wave is given at S2 because after every time period it emits a sound wave. So second sound wave must be emitted from S2. And this reaches the observer. To reach the observer, second sound wave must travel this distance, L plus Vs into T0. This separation between O and S1 is L. Separation between S1 and S2 is Vs into T0. Hence the separation between O and S2 is L plus Vs into T0. Therefore, second sound wave emitted by the source reaches the observer by traveling in this wave form. All the way from S2 to O by traveling distance L plus Vs into T0. So let us calculate the time taken by each sound wave. We observe the first sound wave emitted from S1 reaches the observer. Second sound wave is emitted from S2 reaches the observer. Let us find out the time taken by each sound wave to reach the observer. So let us consider time taken by the first sound wave. Time taken by the first sound wave to reach the observer from S1. Time taken by the first sound wave which emitted at S1, okay, to reach the observer is time is equal to displacement by velocity. Displacement, first sound wave travels L with speed v is the velocity of sound. Here in this formula, v is velocity of sound in the given medium. Velocity of sound in given medium is v. Then time taken by the first sound wave which emitted at S1, position of the source, to reach the observer, is displacement is L by velocity is v. T1 is equal to L by v. Next the source travelled for a time of T0 and reached S2. After T0 second sound wave is emitted, time taken by the second sound wave to reach the observer. So T2 is time taken by the source to travel from S1 to S2 is T0. Time taken by the source to travel from S1 to S2 is T0 plus time taken from the generation to reach the observer. From the position of generation, from the time of generation to reach the observer is displacement traveled from S2 to O is L plus Vs into T0 by V. This is the time taken by the first sound wave to reach the observer, and this is the time taken by the second sound wave to reach the observer, and so on. We write time taken by the n plus 1th sound wave. Let us observe. So this is the time taken by the first sound wave. First sound wave. This is the time taken by the second sound wave. And this is the time taken by the n plus 1th wave, sound wave. Time taken by the n plus 1th wave to reach the observer. Tn plus 1. So for second wave, T0 plus L into Vs into T0 by V. Here S is in suffix. Then time taken by the n plus 1th sound wave to reach the observer is n T0 plus L plus n Vs into T0 by V. S is in suffix. Here we multiply T0 with n as well as Vs into T0 with n to find out the time taken by n plus 1th sound wave to reach the observer. Then time interval, that is time interval for n waves to reach the observer. N waves. This is first wave and this is n plus 1th wave. In between these two, n waves reaches the observer from the source. Source is moving away and each time it is emitting the sound after every interval of T0 and reaches the observer. Then time taken for n waves, time interval for n waves from the source to reach the observer. This is time interval for n waves. Time interval for n waves to reach the observer is Tn plus 1 minus T1. Between these two instants of time, n sound waves reaches the observer. So time taken for n sound waves to reach the observer is delta T, which is Tn plus 1 minus T1. Tn plus 1 means n T0 plus capital L plus n Vs, S is in suffix, into T0 by V minus L by V. Here, by completing this derivation, we get this is n T0 plus L by V, divide with V plus n Vs into T0 by V minus L by V. From this, L by V get cancelled. And here delta T is n T0 get common from first term and second term, n T0 get common, n T0 into here 1 plus Vs by V, here V LCM, therefore n T0 into, so from this first and third term n T0 get common, we get 1 plus Vs by V. Now take LCM in the bracket, so it becomes n T0 into V plus Vs whole divided by V. This is the time taken for n waves of the moving source. Moving source is emitting wave. Then time taken by the n waves to reach the observer is this one. Now find out time period. That is new time period. So new time period of wave, receiving wave. This is new time period of receiving wave. Emitted wave is different and receiving wave is different. This is the time taken for n waves to received by the observer. Then time taken for one wave to received by the observer. Time taken by the one wave to received by the observer is delta t by n. This is delta t divided by n, that is equal to t naught into v plus vs. S is always in suffix. V plus vs divided by v. This is the time taken by the one wave received by the observer. Then reciprocal becomes frequency. Then nu, this is nu, reciprocal of time. 1 by t is equal to 1 by t naught. This implies when you take reciprocal, we get 1 by t is equal to 1 by t naught into v by v plus v suffix s, vs. Then 1 by t, reciprocal of time period, is modified frequency. This is said to be apparent frequency of sound wave received by the observer. So apparent frequency of sound wave received by the observer is nu is equal to 1 by t naught, actual time period of emitted sound. This is emitted sound and this is the received sound. So apparent frequency of received sound is equal to nu naught, the actual frequency of emitted sound, into v by v plus vs. The frequency get modified. This is the Doppler effect. Nu is equal to nu naught into v by v plus, this is s, s is in suffix. So what is the condition? Observer is a test. Then we kept observer as a test, and then source is moving, especially away. Source is moving away from stationary observer with velocity vs. Then the frequency of the sound received by the observer is not matched with the emitted frequency because source is in motion. Then apparent frequency of the sound received by the observer in this case is obtained from this equation. Nu is equal to nu naught into v by v plus vs, under the condition of source is moving away. If you consider the contrast case in which source is, suppose, let us assume the source is approaching the stationary observer. Observer is stationary, but we reverse the case, approaching. So if you reverse the case, that such that source is considered to be moving with velocity vs. Now see the direction. So far we did the derivation for the source moving away. If you reverse the direction of the source such that source is approaching, this is said to be source is approaching the stationary observer, then apparent frequency received is nu is equal to nu naught into v by, replace vs by minus vs because we reverse the direction of velocity. Velocity is a vector, reverse the direction, so v minus vs, and so we get this ultimate equation. So conclusions for this important derivation is: consider a stationary observer here. First case in which source is moving away from the observer, stationary observer with velocity vs. Then apparent frequency of the sound received by the observer is actual frequency nu naught into v by v plus vs. So that when source is moving away, apparent frequency less than actual frequency when source is moving away. Contrast to that, if suppose source is moving towards the observer, approaching the observer, then apparent frequency is given by nu is equal to nu naught into v by v minus vs. Then nu as denominator is less compared to numerator. Nu must be greater than the actual frequency. Apparent frequency greater than the actual frequency. So remember, keep it in mind, these two are the very important formulas as a conclusions. While solving the numericals, we must use this equation. So finally, for this explanation of this case, when source is approaching stationary observer, this is the expression for apparent frequency. When source is moving away, from the observer, this is the apparent frequency, which is, in case of moving away, apparent frequency is less than the actual frequency. If the source is approaching the stationary observer, this is the expression for apparent frequency, which is always, in case of approaching, apparent frequency must be greater than actual frequency. So let us move on to the another case to determine the apparent frequency by using Doppler effect, in which now we kept the source at rest, observer is in motion. We change the cases. So let us move on to the case in which observer is moving away from stationary source. So we change the case. In previous part of our discussion, we kept source in motion. Source is in motion. Now we kept source at rest. Stationary source means source is kept at rest and observer is moving away. So let us do this derivation. In this case also we would like to find out the apparent frequency. Let us try to complete the derivation by using the following animation. Let us consider a stationary source first of all. Let this be the source at position S. Consider a source which emits the sound at position S, which is at rest. Velocity is 0. Consider the moving observer. At 0 seconds, let the observer be at O1. Let the observer be at position O1. Of course, he is moving away. Here we consider source is moving away. Observer is moving away from stationary source with velocity V0. But at 0 seconds of time, the observer is at a particular position O1 and who is moving away from the source with velocity V0. Then distance of separation between the stationary source and moving observer at 0 seconds, at particular instant of time at 0 seconds, the distance of separation between source and observer be L. Now, the first sound wave emitted by the source reaches the observer in this direction. First sound wave emitted from the source reaches the observer in this waveform. Okay. Now the observer is moving. So let us give a journey of the moving observer for a time period of wave, for our convenience to complete the derivation easily, effectively. Let us the observer travel for a period of time, interval of time equal to time period of the wave. So let the observer is moving, this dotted line. Let us see the animation in which the observer moves away. You observe it clearly. Observer is moving away from stationary source and after time t0, where t0 is the time period of wave. After time t0, let the observer reaches second position O2, which is because time of journey is t0 and speed is v0 for observer. Time of journey from O1 to O2 is t0 and velocity is v0. So displacement of the traveled by the observer in the time is vt, velocity into time, v0 into t0. In the time period of t0, the time of journey, displacement of the observer is v0 t0. O1 O2 separation is v0 t0. Then distance of new position, distance of observer from the source is this one, which is L plus v0 t0. L plus v0 t0 is the new position of the observer distance from the actual stationary source. Then let us find out the time taken by each sound wave. Suppose the sound wave emits the sound after t0 seconds. After every time period it emits the sound wave. Let the second sound be emitted after t0 seconds. Then observer is at O2. The time taken by the second sound wave and we will find out, and this is the wave in which second sound wave reaches the observer. Okay. Let us find out the time taken by the first sound wave to reach the observer. Here important point is, here always assume v is the velocity of sound. It is a constant speed in given medium. So velocity of sound is constant value of the sound for given medium. So velocity of the sound in air medium it is considered to be 330 meters per second. So let v be the velocity of the sound. So when the sound is emitted, sound wave is emitted from the source, it is traveling in this direction with v. At the same time, as sound wave is trying to approach the observer, observer is also moving. Observer is also moving with velocity v0. Therefore, here we must consider relative velocity. Here we must consider this point, relative velocity of sound wave with respect to observer. Relative velocity of sound wave. Actually, velocity of the sound wave is v when observer is in the rest position. But as observer is moving away with velocity v naught, relative velocity of the sound wave with respect to observer is v minus v naught. Relative velocity of sound wave with respect to observer is equal to v minus v naught. Actually, velocity of the sound is v. If observer is stationary, he receives the sound with a velocity v. As observer is moving away, sound wave is approaching. Undoubtedly, sound wave is approaching after emission. Sound wave is approaching the observer with v. At the same time, observer is also moving away from the given data, moving away with velocity v naught. Therefore, relative velocity of the sound wave with respect to observer is v minus v naught. We have to consider this VR, relative velocity of sound wave with respect to observer, to find out the time taken. Therefore, time taken by the first sound wave which is emitted by source at S to reach the observer at position O1 is T1 is equal to displacement by relative velocity of sound wave with respect to observer. Time taken is equal to displacement by relative velocity of sound wave with respect to observer. That is v minus v naught. V is considered as velocity of sound wave. V naught is velocity of the observer away from sound wave. Then relative velocity of the sound wave with respect to observer is v minus v naught. Then time taken by the sound wave to reach the observer is T1 is equal to L by v minus v naught. Next one. The second sound wave is generated when observer is at O2 position. And time taken by the second sound wave to reach the observer who is at O2 is T2 is equal to second time taken. This is the time taken by the first sound wave. Next, time taken by the second sound wave to reach the observer T2. Time taken by the observer to travel from O1 to O2 is T0. Time period, time difference for the instant of emission of first and second sound wave is T0. Therefore, after T0, the second sound wave is emitted. By traveling L plus V naught T0, it reaches the O2. Therefore, time taken by the second sound wave to reach the observer is T0 plus L plus this V naught is in suffix V naught. V naught T0 by V minus V naught. Similarly, time taken by the N plus 1th and so on, we write time taken by the N plus 1th sound wave to reach the observer is Tn plus 1. So for second wave, we multiply with 1 and 1 here. For n plus 1, we have to multiply with 1 number less, that is n and n here. Therefore, time taken by n plus 1 sound wave emitted from source to reach the observer is Tn plus 1 is equal to n T0 plus L plus, here also multiply n V naught T0. This is in suffix L plus n V naught T0 by V minus V naught. Then time interval, that is time taken to receive n waves. Time taken for n waves. Time taken to receive n waves by the observer is delta t, is the time to receive n plus 1 waves minus time to receive first wave. Time to receive n plus 1th wave minus time taken to receive first wave is the time difference to receive n waves. So time taken to receive n waves is Tn plus 1 minus T1. So n T0 plus L plus n, this is in suffix n V naught T0 into T0 by V minus V naught minus the first one L by V minus V naught. Here divide this L first term here and the second term here with V minus V naught. Then L by V minus V naught and minus L by V minus. So in the splitting of this term, here we get L by V minus V naught. Here there is minus L by V minus V naught. These two terms get cancelled. Therefore, The time interval now becomes, there is first term and T naught. In the splitting, after splitting we cancel the first term and remaining the second term is n V naught T naught divided by V minus V naught. Now n T naught get common from these two terms. Time taken to receive n waves by the observer is n T naught into 1 plus V naught by V minus V naught. Take LCM of V minus V naught. LCM of V minus V naught means a numerator V minus V naught plus V naught. V naught get cancelled. In taking LCM, numerator is V minus V naught plus V naught. V naught get cancelled. V by V minus V naught. So time period. This is the new time period. So new time period to receive the sound wave in case of observer is in motion is T is equal to T naught into V by V minus V naught. They take the reciprocal. So 1 by time period, modified time period. This is the 1 by time period of source. This is time period of the emitted source wave. This is the time period of received sound wave by the observer. Then 1 by T is equal to 1 by T naught into V minus V naught whole divided by V. Okay. Reciprocal of time period is frequency. Therefore, modified frequency. Now we get apparent frequency. This is said to be apparent frequency of the sound received by the moving observer. Who is moving away from stationary observer? The apparent frequency nu is equal to nu naught into 1 by T naught is nu naught into V minus V naught by V. This is the apparent frequency of the sound wave received by the observer who is moving away from stationary observer, stationary source. Moving observer away from stationary source receive a sound wave of apparent frequency. Nu is equal to nu naught into V minus V naught. Here V naught is in suffix, always keep it in. V naught is the velocity of observer by V. From this we conclude that here as numerator is less compared to denominator, nu is less than nu naught. Here also when observer is moving away from stationary source, he receives a sound wave of less frequency than the emitted sound wave frequency. Apparent frequency less than the actual frequency. In contrast to that case, if you assume the same observer is approaching, there is a possibility of moving observer as shown here now as I am drawing here. Let the observer be moving with same velocity V naught but towards the source, approaching the source. Then replace V naught of this formula minus V naught. V naught by minus V naught, because velocity is a vector quantity. Replace V naught by minus V naught, minus minus becomes plus. Then if the observer is moving towards the source, observer is moving towards source, observer is moving towards the source as shown in this arrow mark drawn there. Then by replacing V naught by minus V naught, we get minus of minus plus, so that the apparent frequency is equal to actual frequency into V plus V naught divided by V. Here the expression is nu dash, nu is equal to nu naught into V plus V naught by V. Nu greater than nu naught. Apparent frequency must be greater than actual frequency. So I conclude this derivation. If observer, as shown in the diagram, observer moving away with velocity V naught from a stationary source, then apparent frequency of the received sound by the observer is nu is equal to nu naught into V minus V naught by V, and here conclusion is apparent frequency less than the actual frequency nu naught. If suppose observer is approaching the stationary observer, he is moving towards the source, observer is moving towards stationary source, then apparent frequency is equal to nu naught into V plus V naught by V. Apparent frequency nu naught into V plus V naught by V. So apparent frequency greater than the actual frequency. These are the two important cases. Students, we discussed two very basic apparent frequency expressions. We derived them. With the help of this, we write so many forms of the Doppler effect equation for the various relative motions. We may have different kinds of relative motion between source and observer. Now we will write the expressions for apparent frequency for different kinds of relative motion between source and observer. Let us move on to the general equations of Doppler effect. So here, first of all, I would like to write an apparent frequency, a general form applicable for all cases. From the derived expressions, I come to an idea. So apparent frequency of sound wave received by the observer. This is regarding sound wave. Light is different. Light also shows the Doppler effect. Its equation is different. We will discuss in wave optics. Now regarding sound, apparent frequency of sound wave, a general formula is mu dash is equal to mu into observer velocity is either added or subtracted to the velocity of the sound in numerator. So V is the velocity of the sound, either added or subtracted to velocity of the observer. Observer velocity V naught is either added or subtracted to the velocity of the sound in numerator, divided by source velocity is either added or subtracted depending upon the relative velocity condition. The source velocity is either added or subtracted to the velocity of sound V in denominator. Keep it in mind. This is the general formula. Whenever there is no velocity of medium. So far we doesn't introduce any velocity of medium. Only if we consider the relative velocity motion between the source and observer, then apparent frequency received by the observer is nu is the actual frequency into V plus or minus V naught by V plus or minus Vs. V is the velocity of sound, V naught is the velocity of observer, we know it already in the derived concept, and Vs is the velocity of the source. Observer velocity either added or subtracted in numerator, source velocity is either added or subtracted in denominator. So here, as we know, nu is the actual frequency, mu dash is apparent frequency, okay, and V is the velocity of the sound. So they are a very well known parameters. Now in the above equation, the modifications are plus minus plus minus. We use plus V naught. If you follow this proper sign, then if you get ability of using proper sign for V naught and Vs, that gives a perfection while solve the numericals of Doppler effect. So we are in that getting perfection. Plus V naught is used. Plus V naught increases frequency. When there is increase in frequency, when observer is approaching. Observer is approaching, moving towards source. Observer is moving towards source. Very generalized formula, and we must know the proper usage of the sign in that general equation. When observer is moving towards the source, we use V plus V naught so that apparent frequency get increasing. Minus V naught in numerator. If observer is moving away from source, so observer is moving away from source, then we use the formula V minus V. When observer move away from source, we subtract V naught from V so that numerator decreases and apparent frequency decreases. As observer is moving away, apparent frequency less than the actual frequency. Comes to denominator. In denominator, source velocity Vs is added to velocity of sound V when source is moving towards observer, approaching or moving towards. Source is approaching. In other words, source is moving towards observer. When source is moving towards observer, we use plus Vs, so that denominator, when source is moving, here we must get less frequency. When plus Vs means frequency get decreases, frequency get decreased. So plus Vs means denominator increases, apparent frequency decreases when they are moving away. Therefore, here we write that here this is the case. Here we continue the discussion. Plus Vs is used, then denominator get increases, so that apparent frequency get decreases. See the analysis here. When plus sign is used in denominator get increases, apparent frequency get decreases. When frequency decreases, when there is moving away, frequency get decreases. So source is moving away from observer. When source is moving away from observer, we use plus Vs, so that denominator increases, apparent frequency get decreases. We use minus sign for source. When we use minus sign, denominator get decreased, so that apparent frequency increases. This is possible when source is approaching. So minus Vs, we use the minus Vs in denominator, or velocity of source value subtracted from V, when source is approaching or moving towards approaching the observer. So these are the very important conclusions, students, at which we use plus sign for V0 and minus sign for V0 and plus sign for Vs and minus sign for Vs. Okay, if you generalize more by adding medium velocity, this formula will be generalized more. V plus or minus velocity of medium, here we are using plus or minus V0 divided by V plus or minus, here omega, let it be velocity of medium, plus or minus Vs. So nothing difference except plus or minus velocity of medium is added to V, or plus or minus velocity of medium is added either in numerator or in denominator, in both the cases. Here the V replaced by plus omega or minus omega in each case. Here plus sign is used when the sound velocity and medium velocity are along same direction, we use plus sign. Minus sign used when source velocity, sound velocity and medium velocity. Sound and medium are in opposite directions, we use minus omega. Okay, that is a more generalized formula, but this is the most important case from which we calculate the apparent frequency more effectively with that formula. This is a very, very important formula. So let us move on to the applications of Doppler effect. So after knowing the apparent frequency received expressions, also various forms of getting apparent frequency. So applications of Doppler effect in our daily life. In case of a siren, so the siren on a passing emergency vehicle will start out higher than its stationary pitch. Suppose we are traveling on the road, or we stand on the road. Suppose any emergency vehicle like ambulance is approaching us, we have to give path for it because it is emergency vehicle. So we can understand that when the ambulance is approaching you, source is approaching you. Ambulance is approaching you means it is making horn and making a sound and approaching you. Then if you realize that frequency appears to be increases, if you assume, if you notice that identify that frequency of the received sound is apparently increasing, then you may come to an idea that a source is approaching you So you give the path for its motion. So in that case, when frequency is higher than the actual frequency, frequency gradually increasing, it shows that a source is approaching you. Similarly, when the vehicle is passing away, suppose any ambulance is moving away from you, you listen a frequency less than the actual frequency. So we come to an idea, we are receiving a sound wave of less frequency than the actual. We identify the actual frequency because we have an idea of the horn frequency of emergency vehicle. Everyone knows it. Suppose if we receive a sound wave of more frequency, its meaning is that vehicle is approaching us. Suppose if we receive and if we notice or identify a sound wave of less frequency, it shows that it is moving away from us. Similarly, in astronomy, we use the Doppler effect of light also. For example, a source emitting yellow color, a star emitting yellow color, and it approaches you. Then the frequency of the light wave is more, received light wave is more as it is approaching. Frequency increases means wavelength decreases. Means the yellow color light may be shifted towards the blue light. So if we receive blue color light from any star, means it concludes that star is approaching you. If you receive a red color light from a star, means star is moving away. Red color light means its wavelength is increased, frequency is decreased. That is possible when source is moving away. So a star moving away from us gives a red color, it shifts towards red color. An approaching star shifts its color towards blue. So the astronomy, we use the application of Doppler effect to know the motion of the stars. We identify the motion of the stars. So even we estimate the velocity of motion of the stars by using Doppler effect of light. Light also shows the Doppler effect. So Doppler effect, other than this astronomy or sirens of emergency vehicle, other than this Doppler effect is also used in radars. So radar is a very useful instrument to observe the aeroplane velocities. So many aeroplane velocities can be understand the position or location, to understand the location, to identify the location and to identify the velocity of moving aeroplanes, we use the radar. So radar also uses the Doppler effect phenomena. Not only the aeroplane, we have so many radars useful to identify the rain strength, rain signals. So rain strength, rain velocities are very well be clearly understand by the Doppler effect formula. So all these are Doppler radars. Doppler effect is very much applicable for radars to find the velocity of rain and fall velocity of rain and velocity of blown of the air. Everything is identified by the radar. Even in medical field we use the Doppler effect phenomena to identify the flow of blood. So for during injuries, some patients the flow of blood through some nerves may be abrupted. So to identify the flow of position of blood through different nerves of the human body, we use the Doppler effect phenomena. Like that in medicine, in biology, in physics, and in astronomy, and in general cases, whatnot. In all cases, we use the concept of the Doppler effect application. Students, I hope you followed it. Today, we come to end of this waves chapter. We completed 5 videos, and now we completed the 6th video of waves, in which we completed the last topic of waves, that is Doppler effect. Very interesting topic. Student, I hope you followed it very well. Thank you very much.